My main topic of research currently is collective living, and I also do look at commoning in other places, not just in housing, in the form of collective living, but also in how we create public spaces in cities through common and participatory processes. So today I mostly spoke about collective living, and I think it's a really important research topic at this time when so many cities are really struggling with issues of housing affordability or unequal access to housing. And at the same time, when we look at the space of the city as it exists, it is incredibly inefficiently and unequally used. So I think it's very important that we figure out a better way of living together and taking advantage of the overlap or the proximity of people in the city, rather than just coexisting and each paying like an enormous amount of rent. When I was trained as an architect, originally I started with a very small scale, sort of the intimate scale of the furniture. And as part of my education, I moved to Berlin, and this was in the late 90s, when the wall had just come down. And in Berlin, there was so much lack of clarity of ownership of property and buildings that it really sparked a strong interaction between people and the city. That people interacted directly with each other, getting together to take advantage of spaces. And at the same time, a lot of questions arose for architects as to what it means to build in cities like that, where ownership is not clear, where there's actually, in that case, too many buildings or too much space. And in essence, to me, that meant developing strategies of how we do things together. So that, in a way, haunted me the entire time, to sort of see throughout my education and my practice, to see how people come together to shape the spaces that they want to live in or want to meet in. That is such a complicated question, because it's always difficult to know what is coming, versus the many issues we're already struggling right now, from climate change and questions of resilience to housing inequality and many, many other things. It's been my experience that different disciplines coming together to collectively think about how to manage these problems and how to have everyone's voice heard in the face of these different issues is something that we have to continue to work on, because ultimately so many of these issues are shared across cultures and across countries, and sharing solutions and developing solutions across different disciplines seems like the most important tool that we have to deal with both contemporary and future problems. So anything that we can do to further develop our own devices, to engage others in cross-disciplinary conversations seems to be the kind of key element that we need to tackle whatever comes to us in the future.